Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today we're going to get into another clip from a recent live event with my members only. This one's specifically about the new legendary life summoner that we're expecting. We don't yet know what it is. We don't know what it even looks like, but we can be assured that these new legendary Chaos Legion airdrop summoners are going to be amazing. Will they be game changing? Will they be meta redefining? I think they will be in that conversation. And so in this video, we're going to discuss what those prices would look like when they first launch, and what we might expect for a good deal, or how they might quickly ramp up in price. This is me and Jim debating the topic within a recent live event. If you want to be present in these, consider joining my YouTube membership on the community tab. Hey guys, without further ado, thanks for your time and attention. Have an amazing day. God bless. Eli had a question. Do you think the legendary life summoner will dominate when it comes out, and do you think its presence may increase pack sale rate? Well, first of all, I hope pack sale rate picks up as those legendary summoners come out. I haven't seen the legendary life summoner. Has it been released and I haven't seen it? Jim, do you know anything about this?
I don't believe that they sent what the said what the card is. There shouldn't be stats on it yet.
Third Untamed legendary summoner revealed.
Oh, that's June 2 years ago.
Yeah, I got so excited when I saw the. That's fun. Yeah, so I don't think. I mean, maybe he's just speculating on like what could be, and whether the excitement around that is going to be significant. Well, first of all, I think the excitement will definitely be significant when we see those legendary summoners. I have confidence, great confidence, that they will be exceptional. I don't know that they'll be. I don't know if I think they'll be better than Kitty and Yodin, which I currently hold as the high benchmark, the high watermark for amazing, game-changing summoners in this game. Not taking anything away from Llama, but I mean, I feel Yodin and Kitty are the creme de la creme, and so I don't really believe that they will be usurped. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Can you just think for a second? If I'm wrong about that, and one of these new legendary summoners, or two of these new legendary summoners, end up being the new Yodin or the new Kitty, and they come out, they're going to be coming out at $5, $10, $15 per. This is a crazy opportunity that potentially is right in front of us, where these.
I don't think they're going to be that cheap.
I don't know how cheap they'll be, but I feel confident they won't come out. They won't come out like. They're not going to come out like Untamed summoners right now. Like this.
I don't think they're going to be like $100.
Yeah. So I mean, like if like Yodin is $300, Kitty is $370. They're not going to cost that. And so if they end up being even in 3-4 months, because it takes time for the meta to recognize how significant and how impactful that card can be. It might take weeks, it might take a few months, but it takes time. Kitty, when it was selling for 20. Yodin was selling for 20, 25. Everyone knew they were good, maybe not as good as they are currently, and as meta defining as they are now. But that could be the story with these next ones, and I think some of them will be in that conversation for the most game changing. I don't really imagine them being better than these two, but if they are, or even if they're in that ballpark of, say, like a Deep Swimmer or Chancius, I feel confident they're going to be less expensive. I actually feel super confident they'll be less expensive than these cards. I think they will be in the $20-$30 range, and I say that because people just aren't gonna, for two reasons. One, as Chaos Legion has 7-8 million packs left to sell, these Untamed summoners were 1.5 million packs in total, and so that alone should mean that the prices on the new Chaos Legendary summoners is far lower than what we're looking at here. But also, there's that question mark, and there's that difficult gray area of people are not going to recognize the value of those cards at first. Even though we know legendary, great, you're going to see them and you're going to think, well, what card would that really work with? And it takes weeks of people beating you over the head with it and you losing to it constantly to then people want a few more people say, oh, it really is good, I'm going to get it too, and then they beat more people and so on. And I think we just look at, if we even look at the legendary summoner with the poison, and you say like how this was okay, what are they selling for now? So they're selling for 1350 on the market, and there's actually like a good amount of them. Like 11 is quite a few. 13, 14, 1500. I don't know how often they're selling, but the point is, this is like $100 a BCX. And remember, it just came out, and they burnt copies of it after it came out. And so
Yep.
I feel like this was an example of how we don't really know what we're getting when it first launches. People were like, is Waka amazing? Is it overpowered? Some people you tried to rent it, and I think I heard Ashley tried to rent it and play with it and try and figure out and how, because we need time to really understand how it's going to work. And only, I think, weeks later are we in agreement, oh, it's not that good actually. But it takes time for that to be realized. Maybe that learning process will be quicker now that there's tools like Summoner Labs, and we can come in here and we can see the win rates at the various levels. I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
So, well, there was one thing I actually wanted to bring up. It was a separate thing.
Okay. Sure, yeah.
So Alec pretty much brought up of, how can you say they won't be that cheap when they are airdropped and certain cards are now barely over 1 cent? I don't think, like, when we look at all the airdrop cards from Chaos Legion, okay, just they're all legendaries pretty much, right? What is the cheapest one? Spirit Hoarder? No. Uriel? No. Oh, Iza. All right, but Iza's terrible. So we're not going to count her. Lyra at $5, right? And then it goes up to $15 with Carnage Titan. Normally, summoners will be more expensive than other cards, especially if they are the same rarity.
Yes.
If they're all on equal playing fields, because you're going to need summoners more than you're going to need the creatures themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and if everyone is now trying, there's hold on a second. So now with everyone now trying to get these summoners, because you can use them pretty much every single battle as long as they're available.
Yeah.
And some of these monsters you're just not always able to use.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, but I do think so.
Now, I don't think that they're going to be ridiculously expensive. I don't think they're going to be $100 like the first week. I could see them being like $20 to $30. Could be a little less, sure. Do I think they're going to be in the $3 range for a legendary summoner? I don't think so. I just can't see it. Like, even Quix is what, $25? And Quix isn't bad.
Yeah.
But he's not 7 mana. He's not 8 mana. He's not 6 mana. We don't know. We don't even know what they're going to be. Yeah.
This card was cheaper when it came out, I think. I actually can't remember now. Well, that's in it, but also interestingly, there'll be kind of a rapid release, not a rapid. There'll be a relatively tight window where there is 6 new legendary summoners, as opposed to here's Quix and all by himself, and he's a new legendary summoner, and people want legendary summoners because you actually need fewer of them to it's easier to buy 3 of these off of a bid than it is to buy like I think 25 copies of a rare summoner on bid. Do you know what I mean? Because that's, if you're playing in silver, you want either level 2 legendary, or you want a rare, you want 25 BCX of whatever rare. And so I actually think from a the easiest way to get the cheapest summoner to get going in this game is through bid buys. But then you need to focus on legendaries because you don't want to wait on 25 bid buys. So I just say that because I think perhaps Quicks is different than some of the other legendary summoners because of the perhaps relatively quick succession of the release of them. So I think we might suddenly be inundated, because I do think part of the question earlier was like, won't they, I think he was talking about, will it cause the Chaos Legion packs to sell faster? And that's I think if they are as good as I think they're going to be, I think this will absolutely feed into greater sales for Chaos Legion packs.
Yeah.
Chasing after those future airdrops. And remember, once the new summoner is released, whatever summoner it is, it'll be then found inside of the packs. And so people will be chasing after that little hope and dream. And so it might be the case that it picks up the pace of the sales, and then suddenly 1 month after another month after another month, we're seeing a new legendary summoner. And if that's the case, that would really cause me to expect the price of these to be individually far less than you might imagine. And then over the coming weeks thereafter, you would see, oh, this one is special. And there'd be a few videos coming out about how special it is, and people will be using legend or summoner labs and tools like it to, ascertain, look at the win rates at, Diamond are amazing. And then it starts to really become a situation where the price pulls away. And I do think hundreds of dollars is probably possible for some of these key summoners, especially if they are, in this conversation of caliber. But probably because of the print rates, if this is 1/10 is common, maybe we're talking like $37 might be like a really high price to pay for like a new legendary summoner. But I actually think we might see somewhere in the range of say 25 to say 45, depending on how exciting and how meta defining these new cards end up being. So that would be a lot cheaper than these, and yet still quite expensive.
The reason I just cannot see them going very low is because, I mean, there's no way that they're not powerful, right?
Yeah.
Sure, they might not be as strong as Yodin or Kitty, but what if they're stronger than the other? All 6 of them are stronger than like Untamed's weakest 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, which is very likely because the other ones are more of a defense orientation, right?
Yeah.
But now we look at, I don't think they can be super cheap, because if they are, then more people are going to then be picking them up. So now there's less supply of them being out on the market.
Yeah.
And if people are looking to either spend the money on them, if they're like $10 and people are like, you know what? If I have these, all I have to do now is get the CP. I could easily get to gold. I could easily get to diamond and be able to compete in modern. Because, well, now I have these other cards that are just also powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, they won't be cheap. They will be.
Yeah, I can't see them being less than $10.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good conclusion. I think 25 to 45 is probably a logical window to imagine these priced in. But even that is an amazing opportunity and deal for everyone here who still is just kind of forming their deck and their power and really getting their, the meta is changing. These new legendary summoners are absolutely going to influence the meta. And you are going to have an opportunity, guys, to access these cards while they're in print. They will never be cheaper than they will be during the period of time that they are being airdropped and unpacked from the remaining 7-8 million. That's true. They'll never be cheaper than that. Once the Chaos Legion is done, these prices go up and up and up and up as they get burnt, as they get compiled together for greater power levels. As more players come, of course they're gonna go up, and so it's like now is an interesting and unique opportunity, and there will be kind of moments where people don't know what to make with these new ones. And if you happen to see unique value in a particular legendary summoner, maybe it's a life summoner, maybe it's, I don't know which one it'll be, but some of them might have this kind of instant, light go on for you, light bulb turn on, where you recognize, wow, this is actually game breaking, and here's why, and I've got to start buying it now. If that moment happens for you, and I've had that moment happen to me, then take the actions you need to get going on it, because sometimes there is always a lag. If you are in the first days recognizing that, there is a lag of people who aren't. They aren't maybe playing that day. They aren't maybe online that week. They aren't, whatever the reason. They don't see the unique use case like you do as quickly as you do. And so for all those reasons, I think there's this interesting opportunity for everyone who's paying attention to really change the utility of their deck because they will be powerful. And no, I don't think they'll be less than $10 though. I agree with you, Jim. But 20 could be amazing. So yeah, guys, pay attention.
There is one other thing I want to say is,
sure.
We talked about future proofing as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the next main set drops, and now Yodin and Kitty are no longer in the format, and the other legendary summoners aren't, we will only have these legendary summoners in Modern.
That's true.
Because they're probably not going to make any in Rift Watchers if they follow the same thing as Dice, because there were only rares in that set.
Mm-hmm.
So these will only be the the legendary summoners at rotation, because then we'll still have to wait until we get to the last half of the airdrops in order to now be getting those summoners.
Yeah.
So we could have a good 5-month period to where, all right, these are the best summoners in the game or in the format.
Yeah.
Then that will then cause their price to go up as well.
That's a really, really great point. And I haven't heard anybody make it yet. I'm really glad you said that. It's not, that wouldn't be an immediate benefit to buying these cards, but it's like predictable, oncoming benefit when as the Modern League playable cards evolves, because we know they will. They've already told us, if you guys don't know this, they've said that when the new booster pack comes out, whatever it's called, we don't even know what it's called yet, not Rift Watchers, the actual full next series after that, that will push Untamed out. And so Jim's right. That would be a moment in time where these new legendaries that are now being released or shortly to be released, where they would be the new kings of the mountain here in the Modern, which is pretty cool, because some of you guys are focusing on the Modern, and you might actually, that would be a moment in time where you might be moving from, say, competing in that gold silver range, maybe all the way up into diamond or even champion, because you now have these certain legendaries that are the only legendaries. And now because of lower CP ratios, you're in there. So yeah, cool. Good point.
Also, I believe the next set is called Rebellion.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Great. Love it.